Hello friends. What happens when the emotional depth of a Cancer soul merges with the electric wit of the Chinese Zodiac's monkey? You get a walking paradox, a charming enigma who feels everything deeply and still manages to laugh at the chaos of life. Meet the Cancer monkey hybrid, the lover, the thinker, the trickster, and the fiercely loyal protector, all wrapped up in one delightfully unpredictable human being. Let's unpack this intricate constellation of personality, one life domain at a time. Love, emotion-drenched, wildly unpredictable, unshakably loyal. Falling in love with a Cancer monkey is like stepping into a romance novel where the pages constantly rewrite themselves. They're not just lovers, they're poetic storms, gentle tides, and unexpected fireworks all wrapped into one. The Cancer side brings deep emotional need, an innate longing to nurture and be nurtured, while the monkey is driven by thrill, charm, and clever mischief. Put them together, and love becomes a high-stakes adventure, a playground of feelings, fears, and fascinating contradictions. They don't just fall in love, they plunge, heart first, mind spinning, and soul bare. But only if it's worth it, only if it's true, only if it makes them feel. At the very beginning of a relationship, a Cancer monkey is magnetic. Their flirtation style is layered with intelligence and intuition. You might meet them at a bookstore or over dinner with friends, and within minutes, you feel seen, like they've known you for years. That's not a coincidence. The Cancer part of them is highly empathetic, absorbing the emotional signals you give off like a sponge. The monkey, on the other hand, uses this data to craft playful, flirtatious engagement that feels effortless. You'll laugh, you'll blush, and you'll probably wonder how this person knows your favorite band without you ever mentioning it. But then, just as you're starting to believe this might be something real, they withdraw. This moment is inevitable. Cancer monkeys are always testing reality. Can I trust this person? Will they stay when I'm not funny? Can they love the messy parts of me too? Their retreat isn't rejection, it's emotional recon. They need time to feel the depth of the connection before diving headfirst. Their shell closes, their jokes soften, and they may even ghost a little, not to hurt you, but to protect themselves. If you chase them, they might run faster. But if you stand your ground and radiate honesty and patience, they often circle back, calmer, clearer, more committed. Once they believe in the relationship, they transform. This is when the true Cancer monkey magic begins. They become endlessly thoughtful lovers who remember small details about you, like how you hate cilantro or the story behind your favorite childhood stuffed animal. They write handwritten notes, plan spontaneous getaways, and leave voice memos just to say they missed you. The Cancer offers vulnerability and warmth, while the monkey keeps the energy unpredictable and electric. Love becomes a full-body, full-mind experience. And when they love, they do it with their entire being. No half measures, no lukewarm affection. It's either sacred or it doesn't exist. But love with a Cancer monkey isn't always smooth. There's a hidden fragility beneath all the laughter and charm. If they're deeply hurt, especially by betrayal or emotional neglect, they retreat in two ways. The monkey will act out, seeking distraction, maybe even revenge through flirtation or disappearing into work and social noise. Meanwhile, the Cancer quietly pulls their heart away, tucking it behind layers of silence and emotional self-protection. You might still see their face, but you'll no longer be allowed behind the curtain. And earning your way back in? That's a mountain climb, not impossible, but it demands radical honesty, heartfelt apologies, and a consistent showing up, not just with words, but with actions. Ultimately, a Cancer monkey doesn't want perfection in love, they want realness. They want a partner who feels like a home and an adventure. Someone who listens, but also debates. Someone who comforts, but also surprises. Their love language isn't just touch or words of affirmation, it's attention. The way you remember their routines, or how you protect their sensitive heart in a room full of loud people. They're not high maintenance, they're high awareness. And if you can meet them there, you'll find yourself in a relationship that is deeper, richer, and more imaginative than most people ever get to experience. Love for a Cancer monkey is a dance of shadows and spotlights. It's candlelit vulnerability and spontaneous silliness. It's needing to be held during thunderstorms, and also being the storm that clears the air. It's longing, loyalty, and laughter in layers. And when they love you, truly love you, it's a kind of devotion that feels like soul recognition. Like they've found in you what they couldn't even name before. Marriage, roller coaster ride with a view. Marriage with a Cancer monkey is a full body, full heart, all-in experience. One that's never boring, often surprising, and sometimes completely baffling. They are a blend of deeply rooted tradition and unfiltered spontaneity. On one hand, Cancer brings in that longing for a safe haven, a home that feels like a warm hug, a space where rituals matter and connection is king. On the other hand, the monkey is itching for change, novelty, movement, and play. This combination makes their marriage style uniquely complex. It thrives in contrast, in balance, in the dance between consistency and chaos. To be married to a Cancer monkey is to wake up not knowing if today will feel like a soft lullaby or a wild drum solo, but knowing, for sure, you won't be alone in the rhythm. Their domestic life is rarely standard. One week, they'll be obsessively reorganizing the spice rack, planning weekly meals, lighting candles at dinner like it's a French romance film. They're the type to know the exact water temperature you prefer for your shower and keep an emotional first aid kit on hand for when life gets overwhelming. But then, without warning, the monkey energy kicks in. Suddenly there's a surfboard in the hallway, an Airbnb booked on a mountaintop, or a living room rearranged at midnight because the feng shui was off. Cancer monkeys are homebodies with wanderlust. That contradiction is not a flaw, it's the key to their vitality. Their marriages survive not through stability alone, but through shared adaptability. They want to come home to you, even if that home is in a new country, a new job, or a new season of life. Emotionally, they are ultra tuned in. Their Cancer side makes them exquisitely sensitive to the moods of their spouse. They'll notice if your voice tightens at dinner or if you're blinking faster than usual when you're anxious. They care about the invisible threads in a relationship, the energy, the silences, the things unsaid. As spouses, they don't just want to know how your day was, they want to feel it with you. The monkey in them keeps that empathy from becoming too heavy by adding humor, levity, and the ability to diffuse tension with unexpected charm. They'll roast you lovingly, tease you back into a smile, or distract you with an impromptu dance party in the kitchen when life gets too serious. What truly defines a Cancer monkey spouse is how fiercely they choose you every day. Their loyalty isn't loud or performative, it's in the details. It's in them staying up late to help you prep for your early morning interview. It's in them remembering the anniversary of your mother's passing and holding you in silence. It's in the daily texts, the gentle hand squeezes, the way they say, "We'll figure it out," even when things are uncertain. They don't just want to be married, they want to be partners in life. And that includes being your biggest fan, your co-creator, your soft landing, and your wild adventure. Of course, marriage with them isn't without its turbulence. They have emotional tides that rise and fall, sometimes without warning. If they feel ignored, unappreciated, or emotionally disconnected, they might retreat into passive-aggressive silences. Hello, Cancer, or disappear into distractions and outside stimulation. Hello, monkey. They may bottle things up until one day it explodes in a confusing emotional outburst that seems disproportionate, but it's really just delayed processing. The key to longevity with them is consistent emotional communication. They need reassurance, not coddling. They need honesty, not perfection. And they need space to be their full selves, even if that includes moments of contradiction. Their vision of marriage is not built on static roles or rigid expectations. It's built on evolution. A Cancer monkey doesn't want to be the same person, or partner, forever. They want to grow with you, dream with you, reimagine the future with you. They want to build a nest, then expand it. Maybe it starts as a one-bedroom apartment filled with books and candlelight, then becomes a business you both run, or a cabin in the woods, or a nonprofit you co-found. Their version of commitment is dynamic. It's less about anchoring and more about orbiting around shared values and a mutual sense of wonder. And perhaps the most underrated strength of a Cancer monkey in marriage is their ability to love through change. They don't expect you to be the same version of yourself you were at the altar. They want you to change, to bloom, to reinvent yourself, because that's what they do. And nothing makes them feel closer than being seen in the messy, nonlinear beauty of life together. They'll hold you during breakdowns, cheer you through breakthroughs, and still flirt with you like it's the first week all over again. So yes, marriage to a Cancer monkey is a roller coaster, but it's not reckless. It's intentional, handcrafted, and designed with heart. There are ups and downs, of course. But the view is breathtaking. And the company? Unmatched. If you're brave enough to ride it, they'll never let go of your hand. Sex, emotional fireworks and mischievous seduction. To call a Cancer monkey simply good in bed is like saying a symphony is just sound. It misses the art, the emotion, the mastery of timing and surprise. Their approach to sex is layered, intuitive, and ever-evolving. What sets them apart isn't just physical skill, which they absolutely have, but the way they emotionally tune in. They don't just want to have sex. They want to experience it with you on every level: mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. One part soulful, one part spontaneous, they turn intimacy into both an exploration and an expression of love, desire, and trust. With them, sex isn't a routine. It's a ritual, a game, a conversation in movement and breath. Mood setting is their secret superpower. The Cancer within them is deeply connected to ambiance and emotional tone. They can transform a space into a sanctuary with almost no effort. Dimmed lights, soft jazz or moody playlists, candles that smell like memory and mystery. They'll brush your skin like it's poetry, hold eye contact that feels like reading your inner thoughts, and move with a tenderness that makes time feel like it's slowing down. But then, the monkey side wakes up. And now there's laughter mid-kiss, playful wrestling, daring new positions, toys you didn't know they had, and the occasional striptease done entirely to Prince. They oscillate between reverence and rebellion, and that's what makes them irresistible. You never quite know what version of them you're getting tonight, but it's always unforgettable. Their sexual intelligence is remarkable. They're body readers, yes, but also energy readers. A Cancer monkey notices when your breath catches, when your back arches just slightly, when your eyes dilate. They use this information with surgical precision, not to control, but to co-create pleasure. They know when to slow down and when to push limits. They can make love like they're whispering a prayer or devour you with mischievous grins and a dozen unfinished sentences. And the best part? They want feedback. They're not threatened by your needs, they're fascinated by them. In fact, discovering what excites you turns them on even more. They want every encounter to be unique, tailored, and infused with mutual satisfaction. Sex with a Cancer monkey also carries emotional weight. They can't detach intimacy from feeling, not entirely. Even in their most casual or playful encounters, there's an undercurrent of wanting to be known, not just touched. They crave a deep bond, even if they're pretending they don't. If the emotional connection fades, or if they feel objectified, unappreciated, or dismissed, they'll start to pull away. At first, it may just be in subtle ways: less eye contact, less teasing, less effort. But over time, the spark dims. Not because desire disappears, but because safety and respect matter more than lust alone. To keep them passionate, they need to feel emotionally fed. They need to be reminded that they're not just your lover, but your chosen one. There's also a sacred mischief to their erotic world. The monkey energy keeps things fun, alive, experimental. They're not afraid to suggest something new, dress up a fantasy, or initiate in unexpected ways. Think slow dancing in the kitchen that turns into clothes on the floor. Think a whispered dare at a family gathering that makes you blush through dinner. But even in these light-hearted or kinky moments, the Cancer soul anchors the experience. It never feels empty. Even the wildest nights have a heartbeat of care, a hidden softness beneath the bite. They'll spank you and then kiss your forehead. They'll tie your wrists and ask if you're okay, twice. In long-term relationships, their sexual creativity doesn't wane, it evolves. They pay attention to phases, seasons, shifts in both bodies and emotions. They adapt. They read between the lines when you're stressed, when you need comfort more than climax, or when you just want to be held. But they'll also surprise you when you least expect it, pulling you into the bedroom with a grin, locking the door, and reminding you why routine doesn't stand a chance with them. They're not trying to perform, they're trying to connect, again and again, in new and exciting ways. In essence, sex with a Cancer monkey is a multi-layered, soul-deep experience wrapped in humor, passion, and emotional instinct. It's candles and handcuffs. It's slow kisses and wild positions. It's laughter in between moans and eye contact that undresses you from the inside out. They don't just seduce your body, they seduce your heart, your mind, and your inner world. And if you're brave enough to match their depth and playfulness, you'll discover a lover who is not only unforgettable, but transformational. Friendship, ride or die with a dash of chaos. Being friends with a Cancer monkey is like having your own personal emotional support rock star, part therapist, part court jester, part secret genius. They're the ones who'll drop everything to be by your side when you need them, but also the first to suggest skydiving, karaoke, or sneaking into an invite-only event just to see if the universe is feeling generous that day. Their friendship is immersive, intense, and full of surprises. They don't do halfway. If they call you a friend, they mean it in capital letters. You are family, confidant, and partner in crime rolled into one, and they expect the same in return. They show up in ways that feel cinematic. The Cancer side of them operates on compassion and memory. They'll remember the day your dog died, the smell of your favorite candle, and the exact moment you said, "I don't think I'm okay." When you're sick, they'll appear with soup, your favorite snacks, and that weird indie movie you both love from college. But they're not just there for the hard times. The monkey in them thrives on shared joy. They'll convince you to wear something wild to a party, send you obscure memes that only the two of you understand, and plan elaborate inside jokes that feel like miniature worlds. They believe friendship should feel like a secret language, and with them, it absolutely does. They're also wildly intuitive. A Cancer monkey friend doesn't need you to explain what's wrong, they'll just know. They'll catch the micro changes in your tone or the way you typed that one text without an emoji and instantly ask, "Okay, what's going on?" They have a sixth sense for when you're lying to yourself or pretending to be fine. And when they confront you, it's rarely aggressive, but it's always direct. They'll hold up a mirror gently but honestly. That's the Cancer's emotional intelligence paired with the monkey's clever insight. The result? A friend who can read your soul and still roast you into tears of laughter 10 seconds later. But their loyalty comes with terms, emotional honesty, and effort. Cancer monkeys can handle a lot. They're incredibly forgiving, endlessly patient, and prone to seeing the best in people. But they will not tolerate being emotionally used, manipulated, or left guessing about where they stand. If you lie to them, cancel on them repeatedly, or fail to show up during key moments of their life, they won't explode. They'll vanish, quietly, without announcement. They'll go from texting you every day to becoming a distant memory. It's not drama, it's defense. Because for all their emotional generosity, their heart has limits. And if you cross them, the trust doesn't easily grow back. In their healthiest state, Cancer monkeys are the glue that holds friend groups together. They organize get-togethers, mediate conflicts, and check in on the one friend no one else remembered was struggling. They're emotionally multitasking at all times. You'll often find them on the edge of the party, reading everyone's vibe like an emotional DJ, adjusting their energy accordingly. One moment they're hyping everyone up with jokes and drinks, the next they're outside with someone who just got dumped, offering sage advice between sips of beer. Their duality, nurturing and wild, deep and mischievous, is what makes them so magnetic. They get everyone, and yet still remain a mystery themselves. What truly defines a Cancer monkey's friendship is the way they blend chaos with care. They want to make you laugh until you cry, and then talk you through the reason you're crying. They'll challenge your self-doubt with fierce belief, offer their couch when your world crumbles, and show up with sunscreen, extra snacks, and a surprise playlist for your last-minute beach day. They are built for shared memories, good, bad, and in between. And they're always dreaming up the next moment, the next escape, the next night that becomes a story you'll tell for years. In the end, having a Cancer monkey as a friend is like being part of a two-person band with a constantly shifting genre. One day you're jazz, the next you're punk, but it's always raw, real, and driven by rhythm you both feel in your bones. They don't just want friends, they want connection. If you're lucky enough to be in their inner circle, hold on to them. You'll laugh harder, feel deeper, and walk through life with someone who sees not just who you are, but who you could be, and loves you at every stage in between. Business, the mastermind with a smile. In business, the Cancer monkey operates like a charismatic oracle, part strategist, part storyteller, part emotional alchemist. They are wired for success, but only the kind that means something. This isn't your typical ladder climber or spreadsheet warrior. The Cancer monkey wants their work to matter deeply, to them, to others, and to some unspoken emotional legacy they feel responsible for. When they care, they're unstoppable. Their Cancer instincts make them empathetic leaders, tuned into the undercurrents of teams, trends, and customer behavior. Their monkey energy keeps them agile and inventive, leaping ahead of competitors not just because they work hard, but because they feel the shift before it hits. Data might confirm their moves, but their real power lies in their ability to predict. They're magnetic communicators, not because they speak louder, but because they speak to something deeper. In meetings, they're the ones who manage to make people laugh, nod, and rethink everything all in one breath. They don't sell, they tell. Stories, ideas, possibilities. Whether they're pitching a new campaign, launching a startup, or coaching someone through a brand identity crisis, their words carry weight because they're laced with both logic and heart. Marketing, natural fit. Public speaking, watch them own the room. Branding, they instinctively know how to humanize a business and make it feel like a movement. They're not just selling a product, they're inviting people into a narrative. Their superpower is turning emotion into currency. The duality of Cancer and monkey, however, comes with friction, especially when it comes to structure. Their monkey brain craves stimulation, variety, and rapid progress. Their Cancer heart needs emotional safety, purpose, and moments to pause. Put them in a cubicle with fluorescent lighting and a rigid schedule, and you'll watch their spirit deflate like a balloon in a boardroom. They struggle with bureaucracy, micromanagement, and monotony. Spreadsheets can feel like shackles. Long meetings? Torture. Office politics? Laughable. That's why many Cancer monkeys either become entrepreneurs, consultants, freelancers, or the quirky disruptors within more traditional settings. They need room to experiment, pivot, and make meaning, not just make money. When they're emotionally invested in a project, they work like mad geniuses. They'll stay up all night perfecting the color palette of a brand's Instagram page. They'll obsess over the wording of a slogan for hours, not because they're indecisive, but because they care. Their standards are sky high when they believe in something. They're not afraid of the grind, as long as it's a grind that resonates. But if that emotional spark dies, if the project loses its soul or starts to feel soulless, the monkey will distract itself with new shiny ideas, and the Cancer will quietly disconnect. You'll find half-finished files, missed deadlines, and ghosted emails, not from laziness but from heartbreak. They simply can't fake it. Despite their occasional inconsistency, Cancer monkeys are builders. Builders of ideas, of teams, of missions. They're not obsessed with power or titles, they're obsessed with impact. They want to leave something behind. A brand that tells the truth, a business that uplifts, a product that changes someone's daily life in a meaningful way. They dream of legacy, not in gold-plated plaques, but in stories people tell about what they created. Their ambition isn't loud, it's deeply personal. It comes from a place of wanting to be proud of what they've contributed to the world, of knowing they did something that felt right. And when they align with that mission, watch out, they become absolute forces of nature, clever, compassionate, visionary, and unstoppable. In a business world that often rewards hustle over heart, Cancer monkeys are the rare alchemists who bring both. They remind us that success without soul is just noise, and that true innovation often starts with empathy, intuition, and a very, very mischievous grin. Dark sides, the emotional labyrinth. Every personality has its shadows, but the Cancer monkeys are particularly tangled, because their light is so bright. When balanced, they're emotionally brilliant, socially magnetic, and creatively unstoppable. But when thrown off course by fear, insecurity, or emotional wounds, they can become a maze of contradictions, intensely sensitive yet emotionally unavailable, outrageously charming yet subtly manipulative, constantly giving yet quietly resentful. It's not that they want to hurt others. In fact, their actions usually stem from a frantic attempt to protect themselves. But in the process, they can leave behind confusion, mixed signals, and emotional damage, often without even realizing it. One of their deepest traps is overthinking themselves into emotional paralysis. The Cancer in them is always scanning for danger, reading between lines that sometimes don't even exist. A short text reply? Proof you're pulling away. A cancelled plan? You're clearly losing interest. Instead of asking for clarity, they spiral inward. Their monkey side adds fuel by distracting them with noise. They'll dive into a dozen things to avoid sitting with the discomfort, but none of it works. This combination leads to inner paranoia masked by outer detachment. They'll act like they're fine, even make jokes about how they're used to being left out, but underneath, they're building walls, nursing wounds, and questioning their worth. Sabotaging relationships is another painful behavior pattern, one rooted not in malice but in deep fear. If they start to feel like you might leave, disappoint them, or see them as too much, they may beat you to the punch. Sometimes it's subtle, distancing emotionally, becoming hard to reach, or making passive remarks that push you away without explanation. Other times it's overt, picking fights, flirting with others, or ghosting without closure. The monkey part of them says, if I ruin it now, at least it's on my terms. The Cancer part just quietly aches, replaying the moments over and over. They desperately want to be loved, but their fear of being exposed or rejected convinces them that it's safer to self-destruct than to be seen in their rawest form. Emotional manipulation is one of the more complex dark traits, and it's rarely intentional. The Cancer monkey can weaponize their vulnerability without even realizing they're doing it. They might guilt trip with phrases like, "It's fine, I'm just used to people forgetting me," or skew facts to gain sympathy. The monkey uses charm as both a mask and a deflection, steering conversations away from their accountability and toward your flaws instead. In arguments, they can be evasive, flipping the script until you're apologizing without knowing exactly what for. Again, it all comes from fear, not a desire to control, but a desperate need to feel safe. Unfortunately, these tactics can leave others feeling manipulated, drained, or gaslit. Avoiding responsibility is another key theme when they're in their shadow phase. When life gets overwhelming or emotionally uncomfortable, they lean into avoidance like it's a survival mechanism. "I've just been so busy" becomes the go-to excuse. Or, "I'm just going with the flow" becomes a shield against expectations. They might leave texts unanswered, ghost collaborative projects, or procrastinate so long it forces others to pick up the slack. The monkey in them hides behind distractions and charm, while the Cancer silently retreats into their shell. The result is a storm of unmet obligations, silent resentment, and broken trust, not because they don't care, but because caring too much terrifies them. At the core of all this complexity is fear, specifically, fear of abandonment, of being misunderstood, of not being enough, and of being too much. They fear rejection not just romantically, but in every arena: friendship, career, even family. They often carry emotional wounds from early life, moments where they were made to feel invisible or emotionally unsafe. These memories linger, creating unconscious defense mechanisms that sabotage their present. It's a sad irony. Their need to protect their heart often leads them to push away the very people and opportunities that could heal it. But here's the beauty buried inside the chaos: Cancer monkeys are capable of profound transformation. Usually, this shift begins in their late 30s or early 40s, when they've finally grown tired of the emotional loop. When they start to recognize their patterns, not just as quirks, but as survival tactics that no longer serve them, they begin to evolve. Therapy, self-reflection, loss, and love all become catalysts. They learn to sit with discomfort rather than run. They trade manipulation for honesty, paranoia for open dialogue, and avoidance for grounded presence. Their emotional chaos turns into clarity. The charm that once masked pain becomes a beacon of authenticity. They become the friend who can talk about their former toxic patterns without shame. The partner who no longer runs at the first sign of trouble. The leader who blends emotional intelligence with wisdom hard-won. In facing their shadows, they don't lose their sparkle, they refine it. They become not just likable, but trustworthy. Not just fun, but deeply safe. And perhaps most beautifully, they become the kind of person who helps others navigate their own emotional labyrinths, because they've lived in the maze and found their way out. The dark side of the Cancer monkey isn't a flaw, it's a forest. Dense, confusing, and full of hidden beauty. And when they learn to walk through it with open eyes and a soft heart, they emerge not only healed, but healers. Life goals: build a nest, then set it on fire metaphorically. Cancer monkeys were not born to live quietly or linearly. Their lives are designed to be reinvented, to zig when others zag, to build with one hand and tear down with the other, not out of destruction, but out of evolution. They live to create, not only tangible things like art, businesses, or homes, but experiences, emotional landscapes, and futures that feel hand-carved from dreams. They aren't content with following society's checklist. They need life to feel alive. The overarching goal? To build something uniquely theirs. A life where personal freedom, emotional richness, and creative fire can all exist in the same breath. They want both roots and wings, and they're determined to find the sweet spot where those seemingly opposite desires meet. They crave a life that's textured and full spectrum. Imagine a mixtape. Some tracks make you cry, others make you dance, some slow you down just enough to breathe. That's how a Cancer monkey wants their life to feel. One chapter might involve late-night philosophical conversations on a rooftop, another might be them volunteering at an animal rescue in Bali, another might be a quiet morning writing a book in a tiny kitchen that smells like coffee and rain. They need variation, but not chaos. They want their world to feel curated, rich with meaning and mood. They dream of legacy, but not the kind you can quantify. It's more about the emotional imprint they leave behind, how they made people feel, what they inspired, who they lifted with them as they rose. Owning a cozy home is often one of their core goals, but it's never just about square footage or Pinterest-worthy decor. Their dream home is a metaphor for emotional space, a sanctuary, a creative lab, a safe haven not only for themselves, but for the people they love and the ideas that keep them awake at night. One room might double as a painting studio, another might host weekly moon circle dinners or spontaneous jam sessions. That cottage in the forest? It's also a recording studio. That loft apartment downtown? A rotating gallery for their friends' art. The Cancer side wants comfort and beauty. The monkey turns that comfort into magic. They don't just dream of four walls, they dream of what happens inside them. Lifelong love is another deep desire, but don't confuse that with conventional relationship structures. Cancer monkeys believe in forever, but only if it allows for freedom, growth, and the occasional reinvention of the relationship itself. They want a partner who's not just a lover, but a co-conspirator in soul work, creativity, and life expansion. They thrive in relationships that feel like evolving ecosystems, a mix of emotional safety and intellectual stimulation, of shared stillness and shared madness. They need to be seen, not just for who they are now, but for the multitudes they contain and the selves they haven't even met yet. They want loyalty, but not captivity, commitment, but not confinement. It's a delicate dance, and when they find someone who can match their rhythm, it becomes something rare and enduring. When it comes to money and work, Cancer monkeys have a very clear bottom line: it has to mean something. Making money for the sake of status or accumulation bores them. They want to earn a living by doing work that aligns with their values, awakens their creativity, or serves something greater than themselves. That could mean starting a holistic wellness brand, freelancing as a designer, launching a nonprofit, or creating a podcast that makes people feel less alone. They are visionaries when inspired, and utterly unmotivated when emotionally disconnected. Give them a mission they believe in, and they'll work around the clock. But give them a soulless job, and they'll either quit dramatically or slowly ghost into oblivion. Financial success is important to them, but only when it comes with integrity, flexibility, and a sense of purpose. Trying to put a Cancer monkey in a box is a losing game. You might succeed temporarily, they'll play along, decorate the box, even make it look charming from the outside. But eventually, they'll get restless. The monkey needs movement, the Cancer needs authenticity, so they'll tear it down, sometimes suddenly, often poetically. They'll quit the job, leave the relationship, move to another city, not out of rebellion, but out of necessity. Reinvention isn't an act of escape for them, it's an act of becoming. The box served its purpose. Now it's time to build something bigger. Something that breathes, something with better windows, and maybe no roof at all. Ultimately, the Cancer monkey is a wild-hearted sage, a contradiction that makes sense, a dreamer with spreadsheets, a romantic who reads psychology books. They are soft and fierce, grounded and untamed, silly and philosophical, all at once. They don't want an average life. They want a life that feels like them. A life they can look back on and say, yes, that was me, every messy, magical second of it. Their journey won't be linear, but it will be rich, textured, and unforgettable. And if you are a Cancer monkey, here's your reminder. The world needs your wildness, your heart, your vision, your ability to blend chaos with care. Just don't forget, your life isn't just about what you build for others. It's about how gently and intentionally you build a home within yourself. The same way you nurture everyone around you, give some of that back to your own soul. It's not just part of your purpose. It's the foundation of everything else you're meant to create.